it's Angela here from Buckridge Homestead. I'm so excited to see you guys again. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to talk about 11 different ways to use your dehydrator, and I'm hoping that one thing, at least one thing, will ignite some ideas within you, or you want to try something new, or you hadn't thought of one of those things before. And I've hauled up all of this goodness from my pantry to share with you about all these different ideas that I have. So if you're ready, let's get started. Okay, so number one thing, I know you already know, but it would be drying fruit. So I would just want you to get some different thoughts about fruit, and I have a few different ideas here for you. And there's so many cool things that you can do with dried fruit. Like I had all of these excess oranges that I had bought. I was just obsessed for a while with those little Japanese oranges, and I would buy bags and bags and bags, and I couldn't go through them fast enough, but I wanted to not run out. And so I ended up just dehydrating a lot of these, and they are just so awesome to have on hand, because if you dry them really, really good, you can grind them up and make orange powder, which is like orange rind powder, and put that in your seasonings and all sorts of stuff. Because if you've ever had Mrs. Dash or Costco's organic no salt seasoning, oh, hang on, I gotta show you something. So in another video, I shared with you guys how to make Mrs. Dash. This is my jumbo Mrs. Dash that has dried lemon peel and dried orange peel. And you can make so many amazing things with that. If you want the recipe for that, check out my other video on making homemade Mrs. Dash. But in the meantime, you can use orange slices and lemon slices for decorating, for tea, for all sorts of things using the rind. Then there's also things like dried apricots and dried mango and raisins that you can make yourself. Just here are some dried apples that I made. They're actually really good. I've heard that freeze drying is amazing, but these are really good. They're not hard. They're fairly soft, and they're really delicious. You can see that I didn't even peel these. So there's just so many things you can do. Now, I haven't even touched on berries and things like that, but blueberries dry amazing in the dehydrator. Strawberries dry wonderful. Also, the little seeds in the pomegranate are dry amazing. So fruit is definitely number one. So number two would be vegetables. Now, vegetables, I guess tomato is kind of a vegetable to me, but I know it's a fruit. But tomatoes, so amazing. You can do so many things with these. And they are dry. They make amazing addition to soups and sauces. They make tomato, they can go in spaghetti sauce, they can go in all sorts of things. You can also dry tomatoes in the sun or the dehydrator and make like a sun-dried tomato with olive oil and seasonings, and it's so amazing. You can put that in glass jars, give that as gifts. Wouldn't that be awesome? These are so amazing. I use this for something else that I'm going to show you shortly. Mushrooms. Mushrooms are amazing to dry. You can also add these to soups and sauces and stuff, because mushrooms go bad rather quick in the fridge. And so it's really nice to have some dried mushrooms. Now, mushrooms can be quite expensive. So when I see a sale, I will get lots, and I will do the whole dehydrator at one time. And so that is really something that's super handy to have on hand. Now the other thing that I want to share with you, okay, so that's vegetables. Now the other thing that you can also do before we end with vegetables is kales and different things like that dry really nice in the dehydrator. I know I'm forgetting so many things, but it's just different green things. Spinach dries really well, and you can do a lot of stuff with it. Now, the third thing that you can do is make garlic powder and different powders, onion powders. So here's my homemade onion powder that I made. I dehydrated 10 pounds of onions in the dehydrator, and it made this full jar and a little bit more. And I've been kind of savoring it because it's just so delicious. It's quite nice and strong. Like, it's way stronger than the bland kind of stuff that you'd get at the store. Also, garlic powders. You can grind that garlic. You can dehydrate your garlic and grind that down and make a delicious, like, powders. The other thing with the powders is vegetable powders. So like I was talking about the kale and the spinach, those make amazing dry powders that you can put in different dishes. You can put in smoothies, you can put in all sorts of stuff. And this is my favorite thing to dry. This is also an ingredient in our Copycat Mrs. Dash seasoning, but you can also put it in all of your different sauces and things that you make. Is you put this in the food processor, the dried tomatoes, grind them down into a powder. I don't have any left because I used it up. It's so good. I use that up so fast, but that is one of my very favorite things to do with the veggie powders. So that's number 3, making powders. Now, number 4, making fruit leather. I don't have a sample of that right now because it doesn't last long enough, but you can use your dehydrating tray and your dehydrator and put parchment paper, or use your, if you have mesh trays on your dehydrator, you can make different fruit leathers. I've seen people make banana. I've made my own strawberry, and a really other great fruit that gets forgotten about that we usually have in abundance as homesteaders is rhubarb. And you can make an amazing strawberry rhubarb fruit leather. You can also make it with an apple fruit leather with applesauce. You can make a banana fruit leather. So many ideas. So that is number 4, fruit leathers. And number 5 is making beef jerky. Now this, I have a sample of, I think. Okay, it looks like he has eaten all the fruit, or all of the beef jerky as well. That turned out amazing. I'm definitely gonna make a recipe on that coming up here soon because it's so simple. But another idea you can do is also eggplant jerky. So if you are a vegetarian or you want a vegetarian option, you can use that, season it with salt and pepper, olive oil. It's just amazing. So I haven't made it myself, but I've heard it, people are raving about eggplant jerky. I prefer the meat jerky and the beef jerky, but there's just so many options. So you can do whatever you like, whatever works for you and your family. So that's 5. Now number 6, dry flowers. Flowers can be, we collect so many things. Like, there is an abundance of dandelions always too in the spring coming out, and then it's like this big, like, oh, you have so many, you don't know what to do with it. You can only make so much tea, but you can dry that dandelions for tea. You can dry chamomile. You can dry all sorts of flowers and herbs, so many things. Where do I have it? Right here I have dried parsley. You can dry, oh, and I also had made my own dried cilantro and crumbled that down and made like a finer type of cilantro and then a powdered kind of cilantro. So whatever you prefer, but you can also put pretty flowers like pansies, and nasturtiums are edible. All those kinds of things you can dry and put in salads or butters or cookies on top of cupcakes. It looks so pretty. Yeah, so now number 7, dried teas. this is really exciting because the possibilities are totally endless. So here is a little dried tea that I made, and this has chamomile and dried peaches and mint, so many things that you can dry and make your own herbal teas. So that's something that could be super fun, and you can mix and match to make whatever flavors you like. And you can also make that with the dandelion overload that we get in the spring. Passion flowers, chamomile, elderberries, whatever you like. So that's number 7. And number 8 is like medicinal items. So you could dry echinacea for tinctures. You could dry calendula for hand salves, which I've made before, like a gardening hand salve, and just any kind of herbs and things that you think of that you have in abundance or grow in your garden. You can also dry things to make infusions. So you can dry, like, I know we don't have access to all that, but you can dry things like vanilla beans to make vanilla. You can dry and dehydrate many types of things to make different infusions, like basil and rosemary and thyme and all those kinds of things. The possibilities are really endless. So number 9, I have none of this left either because it goes over so fast, but pasta. I dehydrate all my pasta. I had it in a prior video, I think it's on Instagram, but where I do like a double batch of pasta, enough for a meal, and then I just dry all of it in the dehydrator. Don't have racks laying around in my kitchen with noodles all over it because I don't want it. It's nicer in there, it's clean and sterile, and there's no dog hair or anything getting in there. And so I dry all that, and then I put it into Ziploc bags and I freeze it. Sometimes I'll put them in glass jars if I have enough, and sometimes I'll just throw it in the freezer, but those go fast. As soon as the kids find out that there's homemade pasta around, it's gone. And I put it straight from making it fresh, lay it out in the dehydrator, and dehydrate it overnight. Really, really dry though, so that there's no moisture, so it can stay in the cupboard no problem without having any issues. So, okay, and finally number 10 is making homemade sugars. So you can take coconut and dry the coconut, or take even coconut flakes and make your own coconut flakes, and dry it and use it in the food processor and make your own powder. So you can make your own like coconut sugar. You can also make date sugar by taking dates, drying them in the dehydrator, and then putting them in the food processor and making like a powder. So that's really fun too. So I've got all these beautiful dried things that I have made in the dehydrator, and finally we're at number 11. So number 11 is going to be granola, and guess what? It's in the dehydrator right now. So here's my dehydrator running, and I've got fresh granola making right now. And it's so nice because it will dry this all out without burning it or getting those big pieces that you get in the oven that are so crispy that they kind of hurt your teeth. It makes it so nice in the dehydrator. So I've got that on for 6 hours or so. I'm actually gonna up this to 6 again, so that's actually 3 hours have gone by. So I'll be at about 9 hours. And yeah, that is a fantastic thing to use in your dehydrator. Okay guys, so first I just wanted to share with you my dehydrator. So this is a Chef Man, and I bought it off of Amazon. And you honestly don't need a fancy dehydrator because this has done so many amazing jobs. Mushrooms, tomatoes, onions, fruit leather, beef jerky, granola, noodles, pasta, you name it, I have used this, and it's been awesome, and it's not a super expensive one. The door just opens like this, and it's got 6 trays, and it comes with a mesh for when you're doing something that's really fine. So when the granola is all done, I'll put it into a glass jar, and I'll have probably fit 2 of these with the amount of granola I have, and then I'll be able to have that filling my pantry shelves. And it's so delicious with yogurt, either plain yogurt or flavored yogurt, homemade yogurt, or even just by itself in a baggie. And you can add extra things into your granola to customize it however you like. So I hope that you got some ideas, some different ideas about different things you can dehydrate, and just think about all of the things in your garden or outside that you forage, outside in the forest, and just general things that you find on sale in bulk that are discounted food that you can really dehydrate and save a lot of money that way. So I hope that you take something away from this video. Thank you guys for watching, and also I'll have my granola video uploading soon, and you can get the exact recipe if you're interested. So thanks for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.